and welcome. Welcome to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. And today is going to fall pretty squarely right under estate planning and elder law, as I have a dear friend of mine, Tina Hess with Good News Consulting. Tina, how you doing today?
Hey, Jeff. So happy to be here with you.
Oh, man, this has been a long time coming. Tina's been one of my friends from the very beginning of my career. Took me under her wing from the beginning, and I've been wanting to do this podcast since the day we started it about a year ago. So it's good to have you, Tina. Looking forward to it.
I'm glad we're finally here and can do this together, Jeff.
I know. It'll be a lot of fun. So just a quick reminder and a disclaimer. As with any other podcast or radio show, please do not use this as attorney-client relationship and to take legal advice. This is for informational and entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are looking for legal advice, please contact an attorney licensed in the state that you are in who does the practice area that you are specifically looking for so that you are sure that you can get legal advice specific to your situation. At Bellomo Associates, we offer weekly educational workshops for free in the areas of pre-planning, crisis planning, special needs planning, as well as probate and trust administration. So please, if you're looking for any type of education in the estate planning and elder law context, contact us at Bellomo Associates, which is www.bellomoassociates.com or 717-845-5390. And on to our podcast. So, Tina, introduce yourself. Tell us a little about what you do.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I'm Tina Hess. I am the owner of Good News Consulting. We are a training, consulting, care management, and guardianship company that specializes in dementia care.
Woo, that's awesome. Well, break that down for us. Take each one of those and tell the listeners a little bit about what it is.
Well, sounds good. Well, we've been in business since 1998. So we've been doing this for a long time, started out doing trainings in long-term care communities in Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey. The team here at Good News Consulting comes from a long-term care background. So we've worked in skilled nursing, we've worked in personal care and assisted living, and done so many things from admissions to marketing and activities and nursing and administration. So we got a really great group of gals here at our company. And again, we started doing trainings and doing best practices in dementia care. That just kept kind of growing to consulting. And then probably back in about 2004, there was an article in the York newspapers looking for guardians. And the owner, Kaylin Egie, at the time, said, you know, we've dealt with guardians while we worked in the nursing home. Let's go see what this is all about. And here we are all these years later after that one little meeting. Now, had we known then, I don't know, Jeff, if we'd be here now. But all these years and doing guardianship across the state of Pennsylvania, it has been a blessing. We feel humbled to be able to help people who have been abused, exploited, neglected, or sometimes just never got around to having that power of attorney or didn't have anybody in their lives. So we've been able to get appointed in the court systems to take over as their legal guardians. But again, everything kind of has always come back to dementia care. And so we really feel that we have been put here to help people who have a diagnosis of some type of dementia, some kind of need in long-term care, and helping those caregivers who really need the support and help as well. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, Jeff.
And as a guardian for an individual, what types of things are you doing on their behalf, and what kind of reporting do you have to do or accounting do you have to do?
What aren't we doing in some cases is a kind of a better question. Well, first of all, the technical legal answer is whatever the courts appoint us to do.
That's true.
So let's at least start off with that. We get appointed as a guardian. We have a court order that pretty much tells us if we are plenary or we're a partial guardian, depends what the court appoints us to do and tells us to do. But really, Jeff, we are doing everything from making medical decisions, to taking care of their finances and everything else in between that really would kind of like a power of attorney, just a court appointed representative who now is kind of having the backing of the court system to do whatever is absolutely necessary. And I say, Jeff, it could be anywhere from, again, those medical decisions, making treatment decisions, medication changes, even hospice, funeral arrangements, to selling properties if need be.
Right.
Ooh, anything else in between.
And how often do you have to provide an accounting or reporting to the court, letting them know kind of where the funds are and those kind of things?
So by law, we are responsible to do that on an annual basis. Pennsylvania has a guardianship tracking system, or the GTS, and so we are responsible to do that on a yearly basis. But then we do have contracts with offices of aging, and so we are giving them reports. So for example, here in York County, we are giving them a report every 6 months as well as our annual. So that's something a little unique to York. Every county is different, but that is a guardian's law, though, is at least once a year. And again, that depends on if we're guardian of a person or estate or both. And so you potentially have two different reports to do on a yearly basis.
And how do most of your cases come to you? Are they come to you from the court, or are they coming to you direct, or how does that work?
So it's a good combination, Jeff. We do get a lot of cases from protective services in York, Lancaster, Dauphin, Adams County, but a lot have also in the last couple years been coming from the nursing homes themselves, where unfortunately they're finding either that lack of support, that lack of a power of attorney, just somebody to help to call, to make decisions. And so we are getting a lot of phone calls from individual lawyers and facilities currently.
Wow, coming from all different places.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And I know, I knew you well. I just didn't know, or actually have been attending one of the trainings until I was at the Making a Difference, which is a dementia training for individuals who are caregiving for someone with dementia. And just watching your team in action and seeing the training and putting, the caregiver maybe in the perspective of the individual with the dementia, it is just fascinating. If you've never been through that type of training, I would highly recommend it.
Oh, Jeff, we love our Making a Difference in Dementia Care event. We call it our MAD event now.
Oh.
I think and I never get this date right, and I know that my teammate Allison would say, Tina, you got to check out these dates. I think we're probably over 16 years that we've been doing this MAD event. But Jeff, we couldn't do it without partners like you and the great community partners that we have helping us with that event. Our objective from day one has always been to try to help someone who is still trying to live in the community and give them the resources. We started off all those years ago with what I thought was going to be a small little event at my church.
Yeah.
And that grew. And we are always asking people, like, what do you want to know about? And what more other resources can we help you with? And that is how our community partnership has grown after all these years. And that MAD event is just something that I know is just, it's like my proud mama moment. I love to see my team and the community partners in action to really help to make a difference to the caregivers in the community. So thank you for bringing that up, because I know
16 years. I had no idea it was that long.
You'll have to count how many of those you were with us, because it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a few years.
You or a colleague have joined us. So
yeah, that's amazing. And I know our firm has had you guys do some trainings for our clients. If a listener is out there listening and maybe they're a church or a community event that houses events for the community, I would highly recommend that you contact Good News Consulting. I think that training, any type of dementia training, in fact, would be amazing for the community. Personally, I get to see it where clients are trying to caregive for a spouse or a family member, and they can get upset or angry and not intentionally, and they're not trying to be mean, but they don't realize that individual, that's not them necessarily. It's not them acting, but to get that training to put yourself in that perspective, I would highly recommend that you get that training for your community.
Well, Jeff, we are very grateful for the support you've always given us for what we call our Care Partner Connections Program, or our CPC. And this has been something, we've been doing this since about 2010. And we actually, back in 2010, actually had a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Aging. Wow. And the theory and the objective behind starting that was to help keep people at home as long as possible. Again, without that kind of premature admission into a nursing home. But it was doing the training and giving the caregivers the support and the resources that they needed. So it's kind of like the MAD and the CPC has kind of come together and really evolved. But those CPC sessions are smaller, more intimate groups. Informal. We're really relaxed and laid back and ask a lot of questions. But there are 6 parts to the series, and they all kind of stand on their own, but that they build on each other to help the caregiver. Because, Jeff, once you know better, you can do better. And so knowledge is powerful. And so we're trying to teach better practices. It's hard to be a caregiver. And I've become a part-time one of a dad. And I'll tell you, it takes on a whole new meaning when it's your own family. So we've been doing this at Good News for so many years, and yet all of us are starting to be at that point in our lives where we're helping to, be a caregiver, be a support to our mothers, because of our own personal situation. So that takes on a whole new meaning. And I call it it's kind of like sensitivity training at its best and its finest, because not only now are we teaching what we've been, practicing and teaching for years, but we're putting our own practical application to it. And we feel like we can help to be better trainers and consultants to families and really share more with them so that they can keep their loved one at home longer than they may otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important to understand those techniques and, for yourself and for the loved one, with the dementia, it's incredible. And I remember just sitting in the room watching the first couple when I first witnessed it and first experienced it, thinking, wow, so many of my clients need this. I mean, they don't know what they don't know.
That's my line, Jeff. You stole my line. I say that all the time. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And so I don't think I know this actually. What brought you to Good News Consulting into this area of training and guardianships? Like what made you decide one day this is what I want to do?
How long do we have here? No. Jeff, I'll admit I just turned 53 just a couple days ago. Oh. And when I was in high school and I was getting ready to choose my college, I came to York College to be a long-term care administration major. Wow. I think it was my upbringing, Jeff. I was surrounded by great-grandparents. In fact, even up until 2 years ago, I had 2 grandparents in their 90s that I still got to interact with on almost a weekly, if not, a monthly basis at least. So I have been surrounded with the best grandparents, great grandparents, and I can still remember going into the nursing home probably back in like the 70s and 80s and going with my grandfather to visit his grandma or his mother. Wow. So that image still, I can see that when I close my eyes. So it's just something that I've always been kind of brought up with, that respect and being with my family, that to me, I wanted to work with the older person. But, back in 1988, when I was, graduating high school and coming to college, that wasn't really a cool thing to do. But I was okay, I was unlike all my friends, But I'll tell you what happened, Jeff, that really got me in this field. It was doing an internship at the nursing home down the road from the college. Oh. And there, I'll make a really long story as short as I can, but during that internship, that's when I met Kaylin Egie, and she was working at the nursing home. She became one of my mentors, one of my supervisors. Fast forward, I did about 3 internships there, had a great relationship with her. And as she moved on in life and as my life took a journey, we still ended up coming back together. She started Good News Consulting in 1998, and she said, hey, I would love for you to come on board. So year later, came on board, been working for the company ever since. She decided to retire 10 years ago, and I'm happy to say that as of August 23rd of this year, I have owned this business now for 10 years out of all of those years. So it was kind of a natural progression, Jeff, to stick with this company that I so love so much and help to really, the guardianship was one of those things that she said, hey, run with it, grow it, do what you want. And so it was just kind of a natural progression when she said she was retiring and I got to buy the business. And I've never regretted a moment since. I love what Good News Consulting stands for. I love the team of women that we have here. I would not be as successful in running this business if I didn't have such a great group of women helping.
Yeah, you do have an incredible team, and not to mention, you have your daughter in the business as well, so a family kind of run business, which is always wonderful.
Jeff,
and
she grew up under my desk in a playpen, and now she has her own desk. So
I know, I love it, and just a great group, just a great team that you have. I can't say enough good things about them, and the trainers. I mean, we could talk about all of them, right? I mean, they're all incredible, and they're amazing in their own right. So.
yes.
You have one heck of a team there, that's for sure.
Yep. And I mean, they are so great in that we all support each other. We are all trainers, consultants, care managers. We pick up pieces where we need to. We help each other. We tag team and come up with ideas. Every other month, we have a group called our TAC meeting, and that's just a phone call. It's our team approach to care. And when we need to discuss a client, that's where we bring all of our heads together because, again, it takes a village some days to do the work.
Oh, especially the type of work that you do with all the different, you have the trainings, but you also have the guardianships, and that's, as you say, having two different kind of silos like that is hard. That takes a lot of coordination.
Yep. It does, but we coordinate well.
You sure do. You sure do.
Think so, Jeff.
Yeah. So if a listener was trying to reach you about trainings or about guardianships, how would they find you? How would they be able to reach out to you?
Well, there's a couple different ways. I mean, we are visible on social media. We have a very active Facebook page, but you can reach us, and I can give the phone number. That's 717-843-1504. We have a website, goodnewsconsulting.com, but again, lots of different ways that you can get in touch with us. We don't always have somebody sitting beside the phone because we're active guardians and we are very active, doing what we do and very active in our community. But we do try to get back to you as soon as we can. So.
Yeah, you are active in the community. I can tell you that. I feel like no matter where we go, we always see you guys, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing that we're very pleased and proud of is that we are very active in helping to make a dementia-friendly York and Adams County. And so we are out there. I'm blessed to be one of the co-facilitators with Jill Kaler from Visiting Angels. And we are out there trying to make our community more dementia-friendly. So that's a big thing that we do as well. And, my team are all champions, and they're out there helping to deliver the Dementia Friends curriculum. So that's kind of the volunteer work that we do in the community. But everything we do always focuses back on dementia care. That's where our hearts are.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was in Lancaster the other day at my office, and we had just had a dementia training, Dementia Friends, I apologize. And Christine finished it, and I believe she's a dementia champion, and she had a room full of our clients, and I could hear them leaving and their comments and just how grateful they were for the training. And it's just very rewarding and fulfilling knowing that you're helping out and doing that. So thank you to you guys and everyone who's involved in that program to do the training for the champions and the organizations, because I really think it's a great way to kind of have that ripple effect and impact a lot of people.
Absolutely. And thank you to you and your support because, yes, we made Christine a dementia friend. Then she became a dementia champion. So she's out there being able to do some of that work and spreading the awareness and helping to decrease the stigma. You know, there's such a negative stigma associated with a diagnosis of dementia. So we're trying to alleviate that. And so thank you to you, Jeff, for supporting, for supporting her and doing that as well.
Well, she loves it. She really enjoys it, and I happened to be at lunch, right nearby a restaurant near the office, and we were in the middle of eating, and I was meeting an accountant from a local accounting firm in Lancaster, and two of the individuals came in that were at the training, and they just went on and on and on about the training and about the organization and what you guys do and the training that they received. And the accountant, after the client left, said, "Did you pay her to come at that exact moment to talk about that training?" And I was like, actually, no. And today was the first day that we did it in Lancaster. And so, no, it's really great to get that feedback.
That is great to hear.
It was neat.
That is great. So even though I do help, and I'm a little more partial to York and Adams County, it's getting that awareness out there. And in the state of Pennsylvania right now, we only have 8 dementia-friendly communities that are really acting and very working. So we are trying to, again, grow the dementia-friendly communities. The state of Pennsylvania has been deemed a dementia-friendly state back in September of 2022 by the Secretary of the Department of Aging. So Dementia Friends curriculum has been, probably since, at least I know 2018 here in our region. So even during COVID, though, we were still, taking the Dementia Friends curriculum, and we were out there, even if we had to be virtual. I'll tell you, though, again, I know you mentioned Lancaster County. They do things a little different across the river, but we're all still doing dementia-friendly activities. But let me share this with you. I am so pleased with this. In York and Adams, we kind of keep keep track of how many friends we have. Now, we are also part of the greater York County Aging in Place Plan.
Yes.
So dementia friendly is a small little segment of that. So we like to be able to report back about our number of friends that we've made. This deserves a drum roll, Jeff, because as of Friday, we have in York and Adams County 1,446 new friends that we made just this year. So we are so excited. Now, close your mouth, Jeff, because, you may open it up again, but last year we had 801 friends last year. So we have far surpassed our goal from last year, and we aren't done yet. We got another month and a half to go, and we've got some great champions that are out there. So we are still on a roll. So we are hoping, and even in the state of Pennsylvania, as of Friday, we had 14,880 some friends, and our goal across the state is to make 15,000 by the end of this year.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize there was a difference in the words between friends and champions, so I hope I used the terms correctly. I apologize if I didn't.
Well, let me just tell for you and everybody else. Yeah. Dementia Friendly is like the big activities that are going on. Dementia Friends is a 1-hour free information session that champions can do. And that is just one small little piece. It's this fabulous curriculum, but it's just one small little piece of what a community does to become dementia friendly. And Jeff, I don't know if you even know this. The Dementia Friends curriculum is in 23 languages, and there's a curriculum for kindergartners. I think it goes the 1st through 6th grade. There are all these different curriculums. I have to stop and think. But there's a high school one. And on Friday, Good News Consulting just had our Friendsgiving celebration. We made 140 high school students going through that Dementia Friends curriculum just this past Friday. Wow. So we are so excited that we are training up young folks so that they can feel comfortable with what's happening. There's so many families that are seeing dementia grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, and we want children to understand what's going on with grandpa, what's happening to grandma that she may not remember them. So this Dementia Friends curriculum is fabulous. And again, there are curriculums in every different age group. The kids, Jeff, we may have to talk to your wife about this one because we know she's a teacher and she may like this idea. But the kids even get to make brain hats and do all fun things and learn about what's happening to the brain. So again, the curriculum is fabulous, but it is only one small part.
Wow.
In York and Adams County, we have a community action team. I call it the CAT group. And that CAT group right now has 68 people that range from realtors to the library systems. So many different business sectors and people from all walks of life who want to see our communities become more dementia friendly. So Jeff, we got a lot of stuff going on, especially here in York and Adams County, to really keep the momentum going, to have the awareness going, and to help these caregivers and the folks who have dementia. We want to hear their voices as well.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Thank you for doing that. I mean, the amount of hours that you guys do in the training is just incredible.
Well, I think anyone who is a champion and who has I call it, I'm helping to drive the bus. Jill and I drive the bus, and we have champions jumping on and off that bus. But I'll tell you, we always have a full bus, and it really takes these champions like you or Chris to, do what we're doing in the community to help folks. So
that's awesome.
It does warm my heart. I get a little excited. I'm sure you do too.
I do. Yeah. It's awesome, and I knew you and I could sit and talk for days. So I can't thank you enough for being with us and for sharing, Good News Consulting and your journey. And it was fun talking about making a difference, as well as the Dementia Friends and Champions. So thank you, Tina. And thank you to my listeners for being with us today on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law. And on this episode, I had my dear friend Tina Hess from Good News Consulting join us, and we talked about a lot of wonderful things about just Good News Consulting, what they do in the training arena, as well as guardianships and the ways that they're impacting our community. So thank you to Good News Consulting. Thank you so much. And thank you to my listeners for joining us. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show. Until then, we'll see you real soon.